bandita? Bienvenidos a un domingo más, el primer domingo, o segundo, creo, segundo domingo de este mes, febrero. Soy Manfredo, ya saben, aquí en un domingo, último dominical. Hoy tenemos aquí, right here we have Doc, and we have Sean.
Hola.
So, how are you guys? How are you doing?
We're doing great. Thank you very much.
Muy, muy peculiar. Symphonic metal, it's your specialty, right?
Yeah, I would say we're a symphonic metal / symphonic rock band. We're not your typical.
Since when you start with this project?
Well, our first album came out in 2012. It's called Intangible Dreams, and it was more of a rock album. We've gotten considerably heavier since then, but we still do a variety of music, this and that. But our first album came out in 2012, so that's kind of where I don't know. That's kind of like a type of beginning, I guess. Right? What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, that would be, I guess, our first technical start. But we really started, I would say, in 2009. Oh, so that was when we first met. So
that's when we met. Yeah. We founded the band, and we've gone through some evolution since then. But
different directions. Always symphonic.
Ok. La banda confirma que en 2009 se han conocido. En 2012 lanzaron un material que ha ido evolucionando con el estilo de la música. El primer material fue algo más equivalente al rock sinfónico. Sin embargo, las cosas han ido poniéndose más heavies desde entonces. Okay, so guys, where are the other members of the band? Where are they?
They're out and about. We all have jobs. We're all busy people. We all have other obligations that we're doing here and there. So not all of us could be here, but we're here. So.
So you are a 5 pieces band, right?
Yeah, I mean we have 4 members right now, but if we do a live show, we will have a drummer with us as well. We'll hire somebody and they'll play with us. But there's 4 official members.
Okay. Actualmente la banda cuenta con 4 miembros oficiales. Sin embargo, un par de miembros no pueden asistir a esta entrevista por sus trabajos. Y es que pues todos tenemos obligaciones. So,
I've always kind of thought of it as like never-ending orchestra. Like an infinite orchestra, infinite sound. Something like that.
Symphonic infinity.
Yeah.
All right. Symphonic Infinity es el significado de Symfinity. Es una orquesta sin fin, una orquesta que llega a un punto. So, guys, 2 years ago, in the horrible year of 2012, tell me, what are your thoughts when you hear 2012?
I mean, it wasn't a great year for anybody, but aside from that, it was a significant year for us because we released our album, Anthem, that year. So we were still waiting.
The month everything went bad. So, just our luck.
It was the worst timing possible. But
we had shows scheduled, but we had to cancel them.
We had half a dozen shows ready to go, and we were gonna tour it, but it never happened. But it's okay. I'm just glad the album is out. It really showcases our sound, where we've evolved over the years. It's a it's a heavier album with some lighter tracks here and there, but the orchestra, all the instruments on that album are real. We recorded, we actually tracked the 50-piece orchestra. So everything here on there is it's a real orchestra. We recorded it in bits and pieces and we put it all together. And that's what we have. There's like 60 instruments plus us. I haven't heard anything else like that on the market, so it's, you know, I think it's an album that was important to release when we released it.
Even among like the big major label symphonic metal acts, also that's not something you hear all the time. That every single orchestral instrument is real. Like there would be samples a lot of times too, which is common. But we did it the hard way.
Yeah, I think Nightwish records with real orchestra, and that's kind of it.
Acabo de preguntarle a la banda sobre el terrible año 2020, que fue pues un trago amargo para el mundo en general. La banda acababa de lanzar su álbum, ya tenían algunas presentaciones por ahí agendadas, pero desgraciadamente no se pudieron dar por las situaciones de esta terrible pandemia que estamos viviendo. Sin embargo, este disco tiene unos tintes por ahí bastante heavies. Los recomiendo para todos aquellos que nos están escuchando, porque recuerden más comunes de escuchar y de encontrar. So, guys, why you chose to put an orchestra on your music? What's the story behind this?
That kind of starts with my background as a musician. I studied music in college, was always trying to think of how I could fuse the two together. And I kind of started fusing rock with orchestra together. I had some songs that I had made, and I learned how to orchestrate, and I thought, well, gee, why don't I just add an orchestra to this and see what happens? And I'm like, wow, that's cool. I'm going to start doing this to every song I work with. So that was kind of the beginning, and that kind of defined what our sound was going to be. Because we realized that we could do any kind of song. We have ballads, we have heavy hitters, we have, you know, this and that. But no matter what, we have that orchestra component that kind of gives us our sound, I think, and that's kind of like our unique sort of brand, and really kind of shows what we do and what we are. So that's kind of become a part of us that makes us unique. So that's been kind of an important component to have over the years.
And we've been going in that direction ever since, like, well, even the day that we first met, and I was hearing the demos you put together, I was like, oh wow, this is like something I haven't ever heard before. Like, those demos were already orchestrated, and then I knew I was getting myself into something very unique. So yeah, that drew me in.
It took us a while to get to the point where we were performing that way. I think that took a few years to set up and figure out how we're gonna actually play with random orchestra players we played with over the years, random violinists, cello players, this and that. Just about anyone you could imagine would join the. Eventually, we figured out that, you know, we'll use a backing track. This is what all the big international acts use. And once we had a drummer that could play with it and keep it.
Somewhere around then. Prior to that, it was like incomplete orchestra sound, and it's like now every show you're hearing the real Symfinity, the way the songs were meant to sound.
I feel like prior to 2015, we were like a Symfinity cover band.
Yes.
And then 2015 it kind of happened, and we started really bringing out our sound, and then that's when people started understanding, oh, that's what their sound like? Cool. And then we started making progress, making fans when we played live, and then things started moving a lot faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you guys, you both meet on music college?
I met his brother in college. That's how it worked. Yeah. And We didn't even meet through music. We were just playing board games together.
All right, I see. Um, la banda optó por un enfoque más hacia la música sinfónica por el background de Sean en una carrera musical donde él estudió música. Entonces, la banda decide enfocarse más. Sean, I have a question. What are you classical musician influence?
It's a great question. I grew up playing piano. That was my main instrument. And I predominantly played a ton of Bach. I got into the Romantic composers. I played Chopin, Rachmaninoff, and I really feel like it was the Romantic composers that I was most drawn to. I really liked, Rachmaninoff, Chopin. I like Chopin as a pianist, as a piano composer, but more so with orchestral composers, appreciated a lot more. Yeah, I think those are like my really huge influences as a classical musician. I like the Impressionists as well, like Debussy. Yeah, I would say those are probably my biggest influences.
Ok, las influencias de Sean en la música clásica nos menciona al señor Johann Sebastian Bach, a big monster of music, this guy Bach. Nos menciona también compositores románticos, incluso admiración a Chopin como pianista. Y por ahí tenemos varias influencias igual un poco más modernas, pero que van de la mano a stock. I have a question for you about classical music. What is your favorite classic music?
I would put it between. Well, I mean, I have two very different favorite composers. I would put them as Beethoven, and I would also put Igor Stravinsky. So I mean, very very different, but either way, very very important in the great scheme of classical music. So I play a little piano myself, but I would say guitar is my primary instrument at this point. So yeah, this is the stuff I like.
Ok, Doc nos menciona que tiene sus preferidos, por ahí escuchamos de Beethoven y Stravinsky, músicos también monstruosos que siguen sonando y siguen siendo los pilares de la música popular que escuchamos nosotros, ¿no? Y también, como Sean, también Doc tiene por ahí la guitarra. So, Doc, what are your favorite guitarists, your favorite guitar players of your taste?
Oh man, I would probably have to put John Petrucci from Dream Theater, Michael Amott from Arch Enemy. I would say these are some of the. So yeah, I like the prog stuff, the heavy stuff, all sorts of complicated stuff. When heavy could play with the light, that stuff really shines for me.
Doug nos menciona que un par de influencias musicales que lo han marcado han sido a John Petrucci, un monstruo de la guitarra, así como Michael Abbott de Arch Enemy, también uno de sus guitarristas favoritos de las bandas que él admira y que han influenciado a la música, y podemos ver tintes en el material de la banda. So, guys, besides rock and classic music, do you hear another kind of music?
Yeah. I think our sound is a blend of predominantly symphonic metal and alternative rock. Maybe a hint of classic rock. It's kind of like those three genres kind of combined with an orchestra just really piled in there.
Okay. And you guys, do you like another kind of music like pop, like I don't know, like tango, like reggaeton? Do you?
I like Yanni. I like Enya. I like Lorena McKennitt. A lot of Celtic kind of music. I like pop too. I mean, I like BB Rexa. I like, who else is big right now? Sometimes 21 Pilots. I like practically anything, it seems, these days. So yeah.
Oh yeah, you got me into Lorena McKennitt. Definitely, that was a good call.
Ok, los chicos me dicen que tienen por ahí otras, bueno, que también escuchan y les gusta otro tipo de música, no solo el rock o música clásica. Por ahí mencionan la música pop, que también, bueno, en lo personal creo que ahora mismo se está haciendo música pop muy buena por ahí en todos lados, ¿no? Guys, I think here's many kind of music genres, music styles, as well as punk, as metal, as rap as well. You know, this combination brings you more ideas for compose. And what do you think about this?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's important. I think it's the only way that metal can evolve, and any genre for that matter. Um, if I wanted to just be a symphonic metal band, we would just clone ourselves and be just like Nightwish, But that's not what we want to do. We want to try to be unique. We want to always try to listen to what's happening around us. Um, yeah, there's definitely certainly a lot of pop influence. Maybe I didn't mention that as much as I should, but we do have some pop influence as well. Um, I like a lot of 90s kind of era pop. I used to listen to that on the radio, so um, stuff from that era kind of really got me. We're a very melodic focused band. It's always been, the songs are very much about the melody, stuff you can sing along to. From that matter, I feel like I relate to Mozart as a classical musician, and 90s, or yeah, maybe that era. And I think it's important to have songs that people can relate to, and to be fans, but other people too. And something I've been noticing recently is we've been getting not just metal and rock fans listening to our songs, but when really kind of trying to evolve what music can be. And I think it's absolutely important to listen to other types of music and figure out what you want to do that's going to be unique.
I think that also speaks directly to kind of the prequel to that scenario where we're a relatively heavy symphonic metal rock bands now, but before we ever were metal, and back when we were in our rock days, we used to share venues and the stage with a lot of heavy bands that had some of their sound it became some ideas that dropped into our minds, and we incorporated in the music too. I feel like we definitely had an influence from the people around us, and that's exactly what this is. This is listening to other genres of music and incorporating that and taking what we like from it.
We also needed to get heavier to attract drummers to the band too.
That's true.
The only way we could get a drummer to join was to not be a straight up rock band. Needed to be heavier.
Ok, le comento a la banda de la música clásica, ¿no? Tenemos un mar de música ahí fuera. Entonces, Sean nos comenta que la mejor manera en la que, bueno, también él cree que se puede encontrar un género, un estilo único, una esencia particular sobre el trabajo es a partir de escuchar bastantes géneros. Doc comenta que en los días que comenzaban, en los días de rockers, intercambiaban música entre ellos y también estaban abiertos a escuchar música que los nutriera, no solo como compositores, sino también como intérpretes en el proyecto que en esos tiempos estaba empezando, pero que ya vemos que ha llegado pues bastante lejos. So guys, I want to ask you about the music scene right now on New York. Yeah.
Well, right now I don't know. I haven't been very active in it, to be honest, since 2019.
Yeah, I have to say the same. I haven't been to any shows since I've been just trying to play it safe for the time being, but who knows? Soon.
Doc
Soon
and
maybe.
as well as the other members of the band, prior to the pandemic, we used to go out to shows all the time, whether it was to see a friend's band play or to see a big national act play. We would go to see all different kinds of shows, and we just, hang out with our friends and people, and it was a really supportive kind of environment, and it was, I times that I will never forget for sure. Um,
Yeah.
since then, we haven't really been part of that community because it's kind of all scattered, and a lot of bands some of them have disbanded, some venues are gone. There's some bands that are still playing now, but it's not the same as it was before. So time will tell, and we'll see. And we haven't gotten back out and played ourselves yet. Something that we hope to maybe do this year, later in the year. We'll see how it goes. But and until we're kind of back out there, I don't really know what it's going to be like.
Yeah, back in the day, we would go see all sorts of local bands, whether they're friends' bands or otherwise, just like, oh, on the bill, it looks like that night some band sounds interesting. Okay, fine, I'll go see them. I never heard of them before. But a lot of times also we would run into like a friendly kind of vibe.
That's when you really get the sense that there's a good community. It's when there's people that are at these shows that you didn't even know they're going to be there, but they're a friend of yours. And they're like, of course you're here. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh
man.
So right now there's no live performances on New York.
There's some. I just haven't been to any. And we haven't played.
Yeah, different people have different comfort levels with going out to places. So it's if we played like a year ago, there were bands playing, but we probably wouldn't get the same draw, and there would be fans. We didn't want to get into that kind of situation.
Ok, le pregunto a los chicos sobre la escena musical en New York. Me comentan que la comunidad es muy amigable en las presentaciones. Incluso tienen por ahí un grupo de amigos que se presentan, que salían en aquellos tiempos cuando no había pandemia, la banda, las personas solían salir a reunirse, a ver a bandas de pandemia. Ha habido un montón de situaciones por ahí, bandas que se han desintegrado, las cosas se complican. Sin embargo, tenemos aquí a Symfinity que sigue pues tirando para adelante, ¿no? Como dicen por ahí, tirando para adelante. Y pues bueno, so guys, on 2012, do you compose some new material?
2012? Or do you mean 2022?
12 and 2020, yeah, both years. Yeah. All right. One question. One more question. On personally, I just know some musicians who write new stuffs on 2012 and last year also 2021.
Okay.
And those are songs very dark, very obscure, very heavy as well. But the pandemic situation. So this new material you have reflects the situation of the pandemic and of the madness we are living these days.
Okay, so we have some new songs we've been working on. Just kind of been putting some demos together. We're looking at maybe recording some this year. We'll see what happens. I would like to do an EP of maybe 4 or 5 songs, and then we have some other songs too. We had some softer songs. We were gonna kind of go back and do a little more pop. But I kind of felt like it didn't really, like you said, maybe this isn't the right time. So right now I'm kind of working on some heavier songs and then the darker ones. I'm like this seems like it's more meaningful to just where we're at right now. I don't know if that's the pandemic. I don't know if that's just of our own experiences and like from lyrics. From a lyric perspective is more maybe more of the darker side of things. But yeah, it's really made me think about, what do people relate to in this age, and what's gonna maybe resonate with people, and also what's gonna be fun for us to play. Because it's been so long since we played that I'm like, fun. So let's play some heavy hitters. Let's work on some heavy music. Let's do something that's gonna be fun. And that's kind of where my mindset's been at over the last year or so.
Yeah, that 100% makes sense because I still have.
It's our heaviest song probably, and it's the one we just enjoy playing.
Ok, comentaba con la banda acerca de cómo los músicos suelen inspirarse en lo que están viviendo. Y con esta época pues tan terrible que estamos viviendo en estos momentos, que es una pandemia que nos mantiene encerrados, que nos mantiene con cubrebocas, existen las situaciones que estamos viviendo. La banda tiene por ahí canciones felices, canciones que se inclinan hacia el pop, pero que tal vez no es el mejor momento para lanzarlas. Sin embargo, ellos se inclinan no tanto a como que aplaudir, como algunas personas mantenemos la diversión, tratamos de mantener la diversión vigente en estos horribles momentos que estamos viviendo. Y nos comentan de una canción, Supernatural, la canción favorita para tocar en vivo. Y pues ya saben, por ahí por YouTube pueden encontrar material de la banda, material audiovisual de las presentaciones en vivo. So, guys, what's next? Do you have plans for the future, for when this for the band?
I'm always excited for what's next.
Well, Doc, you're the doctor. When's the pandemic gonna end?
Oh, I thought what's next for us. Okay.
Well, that depends on the pandemic too. It's
yeah, I think because this kind of situation with COVID has never happened to this extent before, at least not while we have the age of information, which complicated it. Yeah, I feel like there's not really a good way to predict when things are going to be safe enough for everybody. People are comfortable going 100% back, other people not, and then eventually it's going to shift till the vast majority is okay. But it really needs to play out. I don't think there's a good way to predict it. So, otherwise, it's just a guess.
For us, I will say that we're going to keep working on new music. We have new songs in the works, so you can expect there will be new music at some point. I don't know when. My goal for the band is to be más divertido. Sounds better in Spanish. So that's pretty much where we're at. Is how can we make what we do something? How can we keep enjoying it? Because this album that we did that we released in 2020, it took years to make. Took a lot of willpower, a lot of just a lot of my life and everyone else's lives to get it done. So I'm really looking at how can we do things easier on his new music, maybe some music videos at some point, and just promoting the band, and doing what we can with that. I've done a lot of online promo through the pandemic, a lot of social media through the pandemic. None of that has stopped. I've been very busy with it, and we've made a lot of new fans. I can sit on my couch and we can do that, and we don't need to play. It's pretty nice to sit at home and be comfortable. So, no matter what happens, we'll be doing something. And
la banda me comenta que lo siguiente, pues es seguir adelante. Se vendrían bastantes cositas. Lo importante aquí es mantenerse activo. Y pues ya han escuchado a Sean. Bueno, antes Doug nos comenta que las cosas pues se ven bastante... estamos viviendo una situación muy extraña y con certeza no se le ve fin a este desmadre de la pandemia ya. Pero lo que es seguro es que aquí vamos a seguir. Symfinity va a continuar, se va a mantener activa y lo que buscan, bien han escuchado ya a Sean, hacer las cosas más fáciles y más divertidas. Este es el propósito de la banda. Okay, guys, this is the end. This is the end of the interview. Thank you very much. I just have a lot of fun with you guys. But before we leave, I want to ask you your social medias, please. Yeah.
Well, the easiest place to find the band or our individual ones. Well, I'll
the band and individually.
The easiest place to find us on pretty much every social network is just at Symfinity. We're at Symfinity for Instagram, Twitter. We're facebook.com/Symfinity, youtube.com/Symfinity. What else is there? Am I missing anything? Twitter, Symfinity.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And he's Doc Symfinity, and I'm Sean Symfinity. So.
All right. Nos comentan que podemos encontrarlos en todas las redes sociales, individualmente como Doc Symfinity y como Sean Infinity. Sin embargo, con la banda también los pueden encontrar en todas las redes, en Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, /Symfinity. Okay, guys, before we leave, we have a little tradition right here on el show, on el rock de todos los días. When I said, estás en el rock de todos los días, you guys say this. Gócenla. Gócenla means like enjoy it. All right? Okay. Muchas gracias a todos por este domingo de la Última Dominical. Ya saben, estuvo aquí el buen Man, el buen Manfredo. En la producción tuvimos a Charlie. Y pues nada, les deseamos lo mejor a Symfinity. You guys really rock. You have a great fan right here. And el rock de todos los días. We will support you guys. And thank you very much for you have here. Okay, and gócenla, enjoy it. So, están en el rock de todos los días.
Gócenla.
You know you were so right. It all made sense with us as friends who were so tight. head in the stars. I was fighting all your wars. Losing grip, you blink and you trip. I'm leaving you behind. Never turning back, never turning back. At the point of the return, now you see me for what I really am. It's the flip side of me. I will give another chance to talk about all your dreams. I'm none of this false moment. The flip side of me. Now you'll see how much I've changed. Look how much I grew. Look how much you've stayed here. And now today you seem so shocked by what you see. I made an act for you, but I meant help me. The act is done, put my head back in the stars. The beast is out now, I'm alive and never turning back. Never turning back. That's the point of the return. Now you see me for what I really am. It's the flip side of me. I will give another chance to talk about all your dreams. I'm better than sports romance. The flip side of me. Now you'll see how much I've changed. Look how much I grew. Look how much you've stayed here. Side of me, I will give another chance to talk about all your dreams. I'm better than false romance. The flip side of me. Now you'll see how much I've changed. Look how much I grew. Look how much you've stayed. All your dreams. I'm better than false romance. The flip side of me. Now you see how much I've changed. Look how much I grew. Look how much you've stayed here. Flip side of me.